Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. My friends, XRP, it's where fortunes are made. It's happened in the past. I personally believe it's going to happen again. And despite the price action we've seen in particular the last day or two, doesn't change the fact that we are in a bull market. So in this video, plenty to share with you. Including analysis from one popular chartist indicating that Bitcoin, which mind you, in the span of a year roughly, we'll just say roughly a year, had a low in March of last year, got down to 3,000 and something, might have been about 3,800 bucks, but then rallied inside of roughly 12 months. I can't remember if it hit the $65,000 mark, plus or minus that point in time. It may have been April, but it doesn't matter. About a year, went from about $3,800 to about $65,000. And there's an analyst that says XRP is about to pull a Bitcoin in that sense because the charts scarily line up. And I'm going to show you exactly what he means by that. Now, in the very short term, though, not 100% sure that we're out of the woods yet in terms of the price action we've been seeing. So say many of the analysts that I've been following, and I will be highlighting them specifically. Now, the blockchain backer in a video today, he did cite that he personally believes that the bottom is in for the crypto markets in general, which would be fine. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But there are a number of analysts that think it's possible we're going to go lower, even down to seeing Bitcoin potentially as low as like $20,000. And one of them is a former Goldman Sachs executive who has a massive following, very, very well respected. So I just want to be clear, like, these are not fringe ideas. This could happen. Now, even though there are analysts that say that, it doesn't mean they think that is the most probable thing. But I still want to talk about it on this channel because this is not a hype channel, and I think that we should be aware of potentially negative, scary price action because, you know, being in these markets, which are the most volatile in the world, the biggest part of the battle is with yourself. Like, I really believe that to be the case because people emotionally respond and they just can't handle it. So I feel like if people are just prepared and understand, hey, this might happen, doesn't mean it's going to. It's about probability of outcomes, but it could. Just being aware that it's on the radar. If it happens, maybe it still feels a little bit painful to you, but at least you're not completely caught off guard, which would only add to the terrible emotions that you'd be feeling. And making emotionally charged buying and selling decisions is a bad idea. And mind you, I don't have a financial background of any kind, okay? I'm not offering financial advice here. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just saying that if you're going to make a decision financially related, it would be good to make that decision, whatever you want to do, buy or sell or hold, whatever. It'd be good if you made that decision without emotion thrusting you. It would be good to do that based on a clear mind, right? Level-headed, based on data and logic, all that. I think that would be a bit superior. Now, when I made my last video about price, which was yesterday, XRP was hovering around 88 cents, and I shared a tweet from chart analyst Credible Crypto, who told his massive following, I think he's like 212,000 followers on Twitter now, he told his massive following there, look, in the short term, the very short term, I think XRP is going to go down to 80 cents. So again, when I covered that on my channel, it was at 88 cents. He was saying in the very short term, probably 80 cents. And won't you just say, oh gosh darn it, look, it happened. The 24-hour low, 80.7 cents. Pretty much nailed it on the head. That was something there. And so then this afternoon, he wrote the following. Lows at 80 cents swept. So he's referencing XRP, of course. Still sitting on my hands for now, but would love to see us rally from here. Need some more confirmation before considering any longs at the moment, though. XRP. And so look, in the short term, like, I get it. With what's been happening, everybody's flipping out, losing their ever-loving mind. I'm not. I feel perfectly fine, but that's why I really want to continue to hammer home the point that, like, even the analysts that are saying potentially you could see in the short term Bitcoin down to $20,000, which, you know, they're not even convinced it's going to happen. They're just saying, maybe. That does not mean that we're suddenly in a bear market. In fact, take a look at this. Chart Analyst DIY Investing. He's got a chart here, which I'll blow up full screen in just a second, but here's what he wrote. XRP looks so much like 2014 to 2017 era Bitcoin that it's scary. Just the degree to which it lines up. He's saying it's scary how much it lines up. And then he said, it's nearly the exact same market structure as the beginning of Bitcoin's last cycle. This indicates a move to all-time highs is next. Exactly what I have been waiting for. My lowest buys at 14 cents will be looking fat. And so here's the chart that he shared. This is an XRP USD chart dating back to, it looks like, the tail end of 2016. And what he did here is he overlaid the Bitcoin chart just right on top of it. And so right where I'm circling, you don't have to look at the screen if you're like walking your dog or something, whatever. But if you are looking at the screen, where I'm circling right here, that leads us to where we are in time. But look, like right now, but look at this overlaid Bitcoin chart. What's next? If XRP is going to continue following like that, that would be something. And indeed, I don't think that this is something you can unsee. And so it's not terribly surprising. Like I always say, the markets move in tandem, but not down to the second, the minute, the day, the week, the month necessarily, so on and so forth. But XRP does move with the rest of the market. However, if you could take like a 6-month snapshot of a time when it's less correlated, and then you could be tricked into thinking it doesn't. For instance, while Bitcoin was cranking up all of 2017, because it started the year, I think, around $1,000, and then by late December, it got up to about 20,000. Well, XRP during that time period, from May 2017 until about mid-December 2017, it was trading sideways while the rest of that was happening. And so you could look at that and come to the conclusion that XRP is not correlated. But what you really need to do is zoom out on a chart, because that's not a sufficient amount of data. And XRP can trade sideways for a while. It doesn't mean, in a general sense, it's not following the rest of the market. And there are times when you can see tremendously similar chart patterns. And if you just think towards the tail end of 2017, when every coin that exists went parabolic, like if I showed you any chart for any coin that was around back then, mid or large cap coin, if I showed you any one of those charts, and I removed the name of the coin that it was and all the accompanying data, but you just saw the structure of it, what it looks like, you would not know one chart from the next. You wouldn't. You would not be able to tell. Because the whole market moved in tandem, and it doesn't mean they all blew up at exactly the same time, but they behave the same. And so clearly, if that's happening, it has nothing to do with fundamentals at that point. It has to do with a frenzy and a pure euphoria in the market. And then money just cycling through. That is what happened. And it's not like they all popped off at exactly the same time, but they roughly did. And they all happen to have exactly the same chart pattern. And so I'm just saying, yeah, it's like crazy scary how much it matches up here, but at the same time, it's kind of like markets do move in tandem. So this is good. It's good to be aware of this, though. And so I don't think that there's any chance that this market's just gonna sputter out here. Oh, Bitcoin ran up in Dogecoin, and that's almost it, and almost nothing else rallied, and then now it's all over. No. This is not how humans behave. Like this is just not how it happens. But not everybody feels that way. Here's somebody named Chris who responded to DIY Investing's tweet there and wrote the following: "You'd be crazy to buy any crypto right now. The mess has only just begun. Duh, I know it will eventually recover and go up in value, but in the meantime, duck that." And so it's just interesting here. So he does acknowledge that it will go back up. Then why would it not be, if you're a person that wants to accumulate more crypto, why would it not be a good time to accumulate while things are on sale, while things are at a discount, like right now? Like, I don't understand that. I mean, yes, of course. Like I've been saying this whole video, of course it can go lower. We don't know for sure if it will, but the idea that you're going to purchase a crypto and you bought the exact bottom, the odds of that are almost zero. Almost zero. So like if you have an expectation of that, no. If you're going to buy a crypto, you should have the expectation that at some point in the future, it will be worth less money than when you purchased it. And how much less, don't know. For how long, don't know, but just have the expectation. I think anyway, it makes sense to have this expectation that will happen. Because that's happened to me with every crypto that I've ever purchased, period. Like, and every time I purchased it, it's gone. I don't. If there's an exception to that, it's just not entering my brain at this exact moment in time. That's just how it works. And so this idea, see, but this is in the market psychology. So why would somebody feel like that? Because it's scary. When it feels bad to purchase it, usually that's a good time to purchase. And when everything feels euphoric, that might be a sign that the top is in, even if just a local top. And so DIY Investing retweeted that and wrote the following: "These are the exact comments I look for under my charts because it perfectly shows the psychology of retail investors. What some call the end of the world, some call a truly amazing buying opportunity. How could you not be buying during this dip? LOL." And I get what he's saying. And I'm not buying anything now. I'm happy to be transparent. I'm currently not buying because I own plenty of crypto, if I could just say. But I'm just saying, for those that do want to buy, I can understand why they might feel like this is a good time. I can also understand, especially people that are new to crypto, why it can be very intimidating. Totally get it. Here's another one. Somebody named temporarily Mr. Unknown tagged Chart Analyst Credible Crypto and wrote, "I'm sorry, Credible Crypto, but you got one thing wrong. We are in a bear market now." And so, no disrespect to this individual, I do disagree, and that's fine. Diversity of thought is awesome. I don't think he was being tacky there, but I do think he's wrong. And Credible Crypto responded, "LOL, you're free to believe that." And so I was just kind of, admittedly, when I read that from that guy, I was just like kind of shaking my head, and so I wrote the following. Given that we all have the same data available to us, it's fascinating how some people have come to the conclusion we're in a bear market. So this cycle, people just didn't feel like cycling Bitcoin profits into every altcoin, resulting in parabolic chart activity for all? No. Because look, that is what, like I was saying just a few minutes ago, that is what happened last time. Do you really think that's not going to happen again? Everyone's like, no, this time's different. I feel good with my Bitcoin gains. I'm just going to sell everything into United States dollars, not worry about getting more profits from coins that didn't pump yet. No, that is not how humans are going to behave. Wait, be patient. Now, XRP Logic on Twitter responded to what I wrote there and had a rather salient point, so I wanted to highlight this. Props to you, XRP Logic. And wrote, "May I add one more thing? When measuring the Bitcoin cycles from Bitcoin halving to peak high, prices are as follows. First cycle, 362 days, that was 2013. Second cycle, 525 days, that would be 2017. And then third cycle, 338 days, that would be now to 2021, just 338 days. And so he wrote, are we to believe that we had the shortest Bitcoin bull cycle in history? Which is a very good question, and I responded with the following valid point. In fact, data indicates that bull cycles are actually getting longer. And this is something that I have mentioned on the channel before. Nicholas Merton, who runs one of the biggest cryptocurrency channels on the planet, he used to have the biggest one, actually. Excuse me. I can't remember if he's got like 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers at this point. Real sharp guy. He doesn't like Ripple and XRP, but he's not a troll about it. So that's fine. I don't mind diversity of thought. I just like people being adults, and he is. And he's actually good in terms of analysis, I think. And but anyway, he actually articulated the case, and I did mention it on this channel. Like, look, these market cycles actually are getting longer. There's data to show the way that this is syncing up, it's getting longer. Then you have, for instance, the blockchain backer, who not too long ago, I don't know if it was a week or two, I don't know, all these days blur together at this point, but he was articulating the same thing. It looks like market cycles are actually getting longer. And those are just two off the top of my head, but there are all sorts of analysts out there that have acknowledged this to be the case. And so if you actually believe that this is going to be the shortest Bitcoin bull cycle in history, okay. If that's what you think, Wizard, but I personally do not believe that's going to be the case at all, which is why I keep saying, even if we have these scary pullbacks, and even if Bitcoin goes down to $20,000 or who knows what, I'm not going to flip out at all. I am going to continue to hold. Because, and here's the other thing too, and I've mentioned this before, but it's worth it. Not everybody, has been listening to Moon Lambo for that long, and there's always new subscribers coming forward. So thank you. I appreciate the support here. But that's why I want to repeat some of this here. Like, even if we're in a bear market and I'm wrong about it, okay, fine. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Fine. I'm very surprised. It would have been caught off guard. It would have tricked me and a bunch of other people. Fine. I don't think that's the case. But even if, what I would do is, instead of panic selling because prices are low, I would hold, because at some point in the future that you would have another greed cycle and another bull market. And even if that took 3 or 4 or 5 years, it wouldn't matter to me, because I would not be selling at a loss, because that's stupid. Like, I'm just not going to do that. This is what unsophisticated retail speculators do. That's how they behave. And I'm just saying, like, not that I'm highly complex. Like, I'm not even a trader. When it comes to that stuff, I'm not complex at all. But just understanding these fundamental things, how humans behave, and then not participating, that's done well for me. Because I could have freaked out at any point over the last 3.5 years over XRP price after the bubble popped, and I would have not gotten to enjoy XRP recently running up to $2. I would have missed that entirely. And I think that there's going to be even more great XRP price activity in the future. And I don't want to miss out on that either. And so, yeah, I could have freaked out. Oh my gosh, that's that. I could have behaved just like your typical unsophisticated retail speculator, emotionally making decisions. But I recognized, based on data, there's evidence that that's how they behave. It's about human psychology. And I was like, well, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be just another lemming following the lemming that's in front of me off of a cliff to my own demise. So I just don't. I just sit there and hold. And I don't worry about it. Because I'm counting on humans behaving like this. Like, it would be weird to me if they weren't. Then I'd be concerned. I want the volatility. I want the bubble to inflate. That's what I've been counting on this whole time, is a huge bubble forming. And that's my bet. And I could be wrong, in which case maybe I get wrecked. But that is the bet that I've been making, that another massive bubble will form for crypto and XRP. And my plan is to sell on the way to the top. I've been planning it for years. That's it. I don't feel like we need to overcomplicate this stuff. Here is a chart analyst Ambessa who wrote, "Let me repeat the obvious for some clout. Bitcoin is being accumulated, and this takes time. It will need many shakeouts, many FUD campaigns, many S-word coins to get all of yours. People with unlimited funds want more. In the end, patience will be your biggest weapon." I'm going to hit hard on that one. That's exactly this. He's wording it his own way. It's the same message I'm conveying. And then there was, I want to mention this too from chart analyst Leb Crypto. He is one of the analysts I follow that says, not that he's saying this is going to happen or he thinks this is necessarily the most probable outcome, but he's acknowledging, hey, we could see Bitcoin go down to $20,000. And he thinks that would get bought up super quickly, so it would be a short-lived thing, but he's saying it's possible. And he articulated the reason why. Here's another one. Here's an article from the Daily Hodl. Bitcoin hovering at critical juncture, according to macro guru Raoul Pal. Here's why. And so he has a similar outlook. Check this out. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal says Bitcoin is currently trading at a highly critical juncture weeks after the leading crypto asset plunged to a yearly low of $30,681. In a new tweet, the macro guru tells his 552,700 followers that Bitcoin is flashing signals indicating that a reversal is on the horizon. According to Paul, Bitcoin risks extending its corrective period if it fails to confirm the signal. So, if I could pause there. Note he said, note that the way they wrote it there, if it fails to confirm the signal. And so he wrote the following. "I find DeMark indicators work well for me for assessing probabilities. The weekly 9 on the log trend line in Bitcoin feels about the right chance of a reversal higher. If this fails over a few weeks," and he writes here, lower odds of that, "it will lead to much longer pain. Let's see." And so there's another acknowledgement right there. It's not as likely, but that's why I'm just sharing this on the channel, not to scare anybody, but just as a warning. It could happen, and then if it does, don't freak out. Just, you can buy or sell or hold. I don't care. I'm just telling you, this might happen. It's probably not likely, but it might. And there we are. So he thinks it's more likely that we're going to be moving upwards. And then there was this too, and I'm not going to read through this article, but here's another analyst, William Suberg with Cointelegraph, and there's the headline: Bitcoin price nears $30,000 as estimates reveal $19,000 support floor. So look, again, it's in line with what I'm seeing from a number of analysts. Not that they think this is the most probable thing, but it could happen potentially. And when I see this many analysts say this many things that are quite similar, I take note and I share it on my YouTube channel. And it does not seem like the most probable thing, but here we are. Because even though, because understand, this is not about sorcery. Chart analysts are not sorcerers. They're not magic, okay? They're not time travelers, nothing like this. When they have expectations about which way things are going to go in terms of price action, it's about probability of outcomes. But everything that they think is probable will not always be the case. There absolutely, even if you're a fantastic analyst, there will be times, and hopefully a smaller percentage of times, in which case what you think is probable does not occur. You are not going to have a 100% perfect track record. And so I respect and follow those that just offer what they think is likely in terms of probability of outcome, and they're right more than they're wrong. If I notice that's the trend, I follow them. It's not complex here. Some people are awful at it. So I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm just saying. But I feel good. Look, XRP, it made so many people rich last market cycle. I think it's going to happen in this market cycle, and I will wait just as long as I need to see this through period. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.